Good evening, everyone. Welcome to closing comments here for February 23rd. Let's jump right into these charts and see what happened in these markets today. First up, we got our April live cattle on the board. Today we did see a nice day of downside here in this cattle market. Last week we saw this market open up, snap up here into the low 240s and just kind of turn around before Friday's soft close. We did see this thing settle back here up and set those bears up for a nice little breakdown here today after those bulls weren't able to keep that market supported last week. We did see this market open up, churn around here for about the first half hour of the day, messing around here around the last week's point of control before finally breaking down below this 241.25 line. Once we got down here below that Friday's low, it was just kind of open the door to some downside here, and that's exactly what we saw. Nice little flush all the way down here to the low of the day at 238.27, giving up $3 worth of ground here below last week's pivot point. This thing did settle back here towards this 20-day average. We do see a pretty good amount of support here, stepping in between 238.5 and 239.75. This market just kind of balancing out, churning around here throughout the remainder of the day after that quick markdown early. At the moment, we want to make sure everyone's staying out of the way of this thing. This was a pretty heavy volume sell here, breaking down below those prior week lows. This uptrend still remains intact as long as we trade above 234.5 here. So everything's still looking good here for the bulls. We just want to see this market kind of stabilize a little bit, settle into some tighter ranges before we get committed to the long side. In the meantime, everyone just continue to slow play this thing, be patient here, let this market find some support and stabilize a little bit before we commit to any long positions. In the meantime, let this market kind of continue with this pullback and find some good supportive points before we can really commit to any more upside. In the meantime, just slow play this thing. We could still see a little bit of volatility here, a little bit of downside. So just be patient, let this thing kind of play out. We'll see this market, if it does find support, we'll see it kind of tighten up and put in some tight range days before we continue with that upside. So no need to be jumping in front of this breakdown we saw here today. We'll be set up for better opportunities here over the next couple days. Next up, the April feeders also continuing with Friday's sell-off. We did see a little bit more weakness here in this feeder market last week after we did break down below those prior 3-day lows with a weak finish here on Friday. This market did just kind of churn around here early today once again, but we did see that early morning breakdown here around the 8:30 hour here. We did see this thing kind of sell off, giving up some ground, about an $8 range day here today. So we did see a nice little probe all the way down there into the 350s before settling back at 361.5 today. This market still has some chance for some more downside here. We should see this thing continue to try and find some support. We could see some of this momentum still carry over into tomorrow's session, kind of come back down here and test some of these pivot points. This 20-day low here at 356, we want to make sure that this market can defend that. If it does probe it, find some support at the 50 and snap back up, we still have a good chance of keeping this uptrend intact. But we just want to make sure we can defend this line and that 50-day average. If this market does continue to slice through here and see some weak closes here over the next couple of days, we'll want to be a little bit defensive, but this uptrend still remains intact here as long as we're trading above some of these key levels. Just wait for this market to settle down, settle into some tight ranges here, and give us a little better point to get long here and continue with this uptrend. In the meantime, just be patient, let this market kind of settle down and sort through some of this recent volatility. In the meantime, this uptrend still remains intact. Let's just be patient and wait for some support to step in, and we'll see if those bulls are able to turn this market back up. Next up, we are over to our May corn futures. The May contract is now rolling over into our new front month. We did see here on this March contract today a little bit of back and forth action. This thing's still kind of churning around here, but we do see a little bit more strength over here in this May contract. That will be our new front month. We did see this thing rally back here above this prior high and at 443. Retesting some of these prior swing lows, seeing a little bit of rejection there. Nice long wick pushing back down off of here. Still not really expecting any major directional moves from at this point. Still expecting to see some pretty choppy action here. Look for this market to continue churning around here between about 445 and 435. Those are going to be the new levels here in relation to this March contract, which has been trading between 4.25 and 36. We'll just have to wait for this market to clear some of these levels before we really commit to any sort of directional move. In the meantime, look for some choppy action here to continue around the low to mid $4 range. And next up, our crude oil market, seeing a little bit of volatility here today. Good swing both ways. Last night we did see a little bit of a weak open on the Globex Open during the Sunday night futures open. This market initially trading back down below Friday's low before rallying late and seeing a probe all the way up there above 67. We didn't get that strong close up there above 66.5 like we want to see from a bullish standpoint. So we still have some chance at some resistance up here at the top end of this range. So far here in the evening session, we are starting to continue back here above 66.5. We'll have to wait and see how this market responds tomorrow. If we do get an opening range here back above 66.5 and some bids to confirm that upside, we could see this thing start to push back up here towards 70, but we need to make sure that this market can get a decisive close back here above this level, and then that should open the door to some upside for those bulls. In the meantime, we still could see a little bit of resistance here, so if we do start to see some weakness back down below 66 to 66.5, look for this thing to start to flush back down here towards these range lows. In the meantime, just wait for this market to decide what it wants to do here around this level, and the nice strong close in either direction should lead the next move. And next up, our equity indexes seeing a little bit of downside here once again today. S&P giving back Friday's gains, Nasdaq also losing some ground, and the big loser today was the Dow. We did see a nice breakdown below those prior week lows and a finish down here below that 50-day average. That is opening the door to some weakness here in this Dow index, where there has been some relative strength recently. This is raising little eyebrows here, and we could see a little bit more selling pressure kick into this market. We encourage everyone to be a little bit defensive here, not getting a whole lot of participation. There still are some good sectors out there that are still making money, but in the meantime, these indexes are kind of looking choppy and weak here at the moment, so I just encourage everyone to be a little bit defensive. And if we do see any more continued downside here this week, I encourage everyone to start raising a little cash, as we could see a little bit more of a corrective environment start to come in, as the Dow is looking like it's going to start following the S&P and the Nasdaq lower. Still having some pretty choppy conditions here in the S&P, but with that Dow giving way, it is opening the door to a little bit more weakness here in these equity markets. So just everyone be a little bit defensive here. Stick with those relative strength sectors, and in the meantime, wait for these indexes to clean up their picture and have a little bit better structure here to trade around before we really commit to any more long-term upside. That's all we got for tonight. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We'll catch you tomorrow.